Hey everyone, this is Dylan, and today I'll be doing my top 10 worst films of 2021. And right before we start, I want to give some disclaimers. These are just movies that I did not like. If you like them, all the better for you. It's just these weren't films that didn't really work for me. And then also, I did not watch every film that was released in 2021, so if something's not on this list, it's because I either didn't watch it or maybe I actually kind of liked it. And we have the honorable mention, We Need to Do Something. And this is like a isolation horror, a psychological horror movie, and this one just, half of it worked for me and half of it didn't, but overall it just mostly didn't work for me. So the basic premise is this family goes into their bathroom for shelter during a storm, and after the storm is over they try to leave, but unfortunately there has been a tree that has fallen into their house and has blocked the bathroom door, so they can't get out of the bathroom. So they're left there and they basically have to deal with being a broken family that is now trapped in this confined space. So the part of this movie that works is the isolation of this bathroom and the family inside of it. What doesn't work is when they try to explain what is going on. And there is one really great scene in this movie, but other than that, it's just fairly mediocre. Coming in at number 10, we have Voyagers. This is basically the Lord of Flies meets space. This movie takes place in our reality where the Earth is dying, and the scientists and leaders of the world have decided that they're going to send people into space to look for a habitable planet to survive. I think that it's supposed to take 81 years in order to get to the planet, and so that means that they decide that they're going to create children that were specifically made for this trip. They have them grow up without knowing the outside world of the Earth so that they won't miss Earth when they leave. And they are meant to reproduce on board, and it's all done scientifically, not actual sex. And so this movie, they're about 16 years old when some of the kids realize that there is something weird going on, and they decide to stop taking this drink that they give them. And the drink is meant to suppress all emotions, suppress aggression, suppress sexual feelings, all of that. So the kids decide to stop taking it, and when that happens, we get a lot of aggressive and horny teenage boys. And it is a bit uncomfortable to watch in times because it's like these kids are just now learning about themselves and their bodies, and they're feeling feelings that they've never had before. So that's a bit uncomfortable. And then also, there's so much stuff in this movie that I've seen done before and done better in other movies. So that's why it's on my worst of list. Coming in at number 9, we have another Lord of the Flies adaptation. It seems like 2021 was the year of Lord of the Flies adaptations. So this one is called School's Out Forever. And I believe that this is a British film, and it basically takes place in this pandemic that has ravaged the British countryside. And this boy decides to go back to his boarding school, and he meets up with the people that are survivors at this boarding school, while there's other people that are trying to attack them. They basically have a standoff and fight with the people of the town that are trying to find someone who they are actually hiding in this boarding school. So this movie, like with Voyagers, does so many things that other movies have done, but the other movies have done it better. And the worst thing about this movie is that it's just pretty uninteresting, and that's pretty disappointing. Coming in at number 8, we have The Little Things. This is the first movie that Warner Brothers added as part of the day and date on HBO Max, and I was really excited when I heard that they had announced that they were going to do all their movies day and date. And then this one was the first one, and it was like, oof, this is not good. So this is basically a police investigation of a murder. And we have Rami Malek, who I like Rami Malek, and I think that he did an alright job in this movie. But then we have Jared Leto and Denzel Washington, who are giving some just really weird performances, and the movie was boring, and that coupled with the weird performances just did not work out very well for me. Coming in at number 7, we have The Matrix Resurrections. And I had never seen a Matrix movie until a couple weeks ago. I watched all of the Matrix movies to prepare for this new one. This is ranked the worst for me in the franchise. And I think that so many of the elements were there, but they just didn't work together, it seemed. And I also kind of get this feeling, especially from some of the dialogue that is in this movie, was that really nobody wanted to be a part of this movie. Lana Wachowski probably did not want to come back. And I have a feeling that Warner Brothers was probably like, well, you can either come back and do this movie, or we'll get someone else to do it for us. And I think that the Wachowskis didn't want that to happen, so Lana decided that she was going to come back and do it, but the product was not good, and there was just so many weird things that happened in this movie, and particularly not bringing back Hugo Weaving as Agent Smith, and also not bringing back Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus. I think those were two things that loomed over this movie, and it was just like every time I saw Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, I was just like, well, that could be Lawrence Fishburne. Like, there was no reason that his character needed to be somebody different. I can kind of see it with Agent Smith, but I definitely don't think Morpheus should have been recast. Coming in at number 6, we have Black as Night. This is one of the Welcome to Blumhouse films that came out this year. And it's basically about vampires in, I believe it was New Orleans. And there is some good stuff in this movie, but most of it is just retreads of other movies that did it better. That's like one of the themes of this list is movies that are bad because other movies did them better. Which, I mean, that happens. But it just seems like knockoffs, really. This movie lacked character development. It lacked a unique angle to the vampire subgenre. Overall, it was just boring. So, unfortunately, it made my number 6 on this list. Coming in at number 5, we have Hes All That. This is a TikTok phenomenon, comes to the movies with Addison Rae, and I had never seen She's All That until right before I watched He's All That. I watched She's All That to just kind of see what it was all about, and I didn't particularly care for that film, so I didn't really know why they decided to remake She's All That, but then make it He's All That. But this movie was so filled with editing errors. There were so many editing errors. I was like watching this movie and I was like, what is going on? This is like a big budget Netflix movie, and they let all these editing errors happen, and that was just beyond me. Overall, it was just a movie that didn't need to be remade, that they remade, and they did it with a subpar actress. Coming in at number 4, we have Willys Wonderland. And this is one that Nick Cage stars in, and I was really excited for this because I actually don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's, other than basically what it is like this Chuck E. Cheese ripoff type thing where the animatronics come to life and they're kind of evil or whatever. And I saw that this movie was coming out and I was like, this could be like a Five Nights at Freddy's adult version. And it was not very good. I actually fell asleep the first time I watched it and I was like, do I even really want to finish it? But I did, and there was a lot of weird stuff going on. Like, Nick Cage's character, I don't think says one word. I think he just like mostly grunts and groans and stays silent. And it's like, I want Nick Cage to be crazy in his movies. I don't want a silent Nick Cage because that's not who Nick Cage is. So it was a really disappointing movie for me to watch. Coming in at number 3 is a movie called Masquerade, and this has Bella Thorne in it, and she's basically the big star in this. She's playing someone who is trying to steal art from this couple who is like really big into the art scene, and this whole movie hinges on this twist that happens at the end. I watched this movie and I didn't even realize that there was a twist on it until I started reading reviews on Letterboxd of this twist, and I was like, maybe I need to rewatch that ending. And then I rewatched it and I was like, oh, I guess I could see that. But the twist was just not clear at all, and it just really didn't make any sense if you didn't see the twist. And so this movie just was a really bad movie that came out this year. Coming in at number 2, we have The Unholy. I was excited when I started watching this because I thought that this was going to be a good movie because the poster looked cool and the like synopsis was cool, but when I watched it, I was just like, wow, this is real bad. So basically, this is about this reporter who goes to this town where a bunch of miracles are being said to happen. It is like a religious horror film. And this girl, I believe she's deaf, and she starts having these miracles, like she can heal people and stuff. And this like tabloid reporter comes and is like trying to debunk what is going on. This movie has uninteresting characters, this movie has uninteresting story, and the CGI is just bad. I was like, wow, this is some like real bad CGI. Like some of the worst CGI I've seen in a while. And I was just like, wow, this movie had so much potential and they really wasted it. And then coming in at number 1, we have this movie called The Resort. I watched this on Hulu and boy, this was not good. It's about these 2 couples who are friends that go to Hawaii on vacation, and they decide that they're going to go to this abandoned island which nobody is supposed to go to. There was a resort that was previously on the island, and the ruins of the resort are still there. This resort was shut down because there was a lot of mysterious things that were happening there, and so nobody wanted to stay there anymore and they shut it down. So they convinced this pilot to take them to the island. Once they get there, they start doing these like investigations and stuff, and it was just not good. This was so low budget. The movie was shot in like an third-person omnipresent view, but it would have made so much more sense if this was a found footage film. Like I think I would have given it a little bit of leniency if this were a found footage film, but they did this third-person point of view and it just didn't make any sense. The actors were so bad in this movie. I was like, wow, that's pretty bad. There was only one good kill in this film, and like the makeup effects was really good on this kill. And then also the only other good thing, which is the location, because it was filmed in Hawaii and they have all these like scenic pictures of Hawaii. I think that is one of the only redeeming factors of this movie, but otherwise I would say never go watch it because it's just terrible. So that is my list for the top 10 worst films of 2021. Let me know in the comments down below what your worst film of 2021 was and whether or not you agree with any of the ones that I chose. And remember, if you're not already subscribed and you'd like to be, please hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a like if you liked it. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day. Bye.